comic stand-in, The View, and The Today Show.
Yes.
She lives in Greenwich, Connecticut,
Yes.
but she is still a nice person. Welcome back to the stage, Jane Condon.
So who's happy to be out of the house? Come on, let's hear it. Who already got a cookie out there? Best brownies ever. Oh my God, you guys gotta be high on sugar right now. Anyway, and who's heard me before? Oh my God, oh thank you. Well, I was a train wreck last year, so thank you for coming back. This is, oh, and who can hear me? Raise your hand, that would be good for me to know. Okay, that's most of you. Oh, good, you got in there late, but I saw you. Okay, so anyway, I'm Jane Condon, and I'm 74. Yeah, and I don't care anymore. Used to be 72, 73 with ADD. Before that 72, but what are you gonna do? So, I actually like my 60s decade a lot. And now that I'm in my 70s, I'm beginning to like it even better. Do we have anybody here in the 70s who can just, tell me why the 70s are good? Anybody? Nobody? See, okay, you do. I'm not working! Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. Anybody else why 70s are good? Okay, over there.
I love the 70s.
You're what?
I love the 70s.
You love the 70s. Any particular reason why?
Because everybody's so nice to me.
Because everybody's so nice to her. Okay, I'm just looking for information and tips, guys. Do we have anybody here in their 80s? Anybody in their 80s? Oh my goodness, okay. So what's great about being 80? Anybody? She's also not working. How about you?
You're still around.
You're still around. That is a very good point. Okay, I got something for next year. I'm going to say I'm 75 and still alive. I mean, this is going to be a kick-ass joke when I'm 94. Anyway, any more people in their 80s want to say something? Come on, you have voices, you have opinions. No, we're settling down. All right. So, anybody here in their 90s? Wow. And you look. What's good about being 90?
Well, you can say and do almost anything you want.
I love that. You can say and do almost anything you want. What's your name?
Joyce.
Joyce. And Joyce, were you here last year?
I was.
I know. I remember you. I remember you. So, how old are you this year?
92.
Give it up for Joyce. Okay. Fantastic. Is there anybody older than Joyce here? Oh my God. So how old are you? 93. And what's your name? Barbara? Martha. Let me try. Oh, my last chance. Okay. Margaret? Okay, Margaret. Okay, we got Joyce and Margaret. You're 93. So what's good about being 93? You're still here. Always a good answer. Okay, have I missed anybody? Okay, over there, they're putting her hand up. Okay.
93.
93.
Yeah,
And what's good about being 93?
but I'm still here.
You're still here?
I'm still very able to do a lot of things that I never thought I would be doing.
Oh, I love that.
But,
Like what? Like what?
oh, just
Ice skating. You shut up here, Joyce. Okay, it's her turn.
a lot of things I can't do because I have to use a walker all the time. But I manage.
You manage.
I thank God for giving me the strength. And
I thank God for giving me the strength, she said. Yeah.
and the support that I need.
Yeah.
And
Okay, it's only an hour show. Okay, so anyway, I just want to say I saw some of you with nitros. That is my favorite walker. I don't know if any of you had. I saw somebody come in with the nitro. They're right. They're right. That's a really the little red devils. I love them. Okay, so I am originally from a real blue-collar town in Massachusetts called Brockton. Do you know Brockton? Yeah, but I'm not going to hurt you. And now I live in Greenwich, Connecticut. Lovely town, lucky to be there. My husband got us in. Never in 10 million gazillion years, I think Janie Condon, would end up in a Greenwich. Because going away where I come from, going away means jail. Going away in Greenwich means rehab. I'm going away. Yes, I am. And you can come and you can come. Joyce can definitely come too. In Brockton, we had a Holiday Inn with a big sign, have your next affair here. That's how I used to talk. Affair here, I don't care, not my sweater, don't be a douchebag. Oh. Tough town, people get shot in Brockton. It's our way of saying hello. Hello in Greenwich is Chad. Great day for sailing. Brad, how is the squash game going? Helen, I must say, the parking lot behind Whole Foods, it's a jungle. When we first get there, I'm thinking everybody's gonna be a snob. But the people at the supermarket have been extremely nice to me. Like if I forget to wear my pearls, they lend me some. I met a wonderful woman right away. She's very proud. She's there, I'm DAR, daughter of the American Revolution. And I said, that's great. I'm DPF, yeah. Daughter of the potato famine, yeah. Oh gosh, my Irish grandfather came over to the States to work in a shoe factory in Brockton. And my Irish grandmother came over just to annoy him. And she was pretty good at it. She's a talker, we're all talkers in my family. She said, move your fat ass, get off your fat ass, sit your fat ass down. Did I offend anybody with the ass? I think you don't care at this age, right? Okay, so move your fat. And then she'd say to me, Janie, you'd lose your head if it weren't attached to your shoulders. Thank you, Grandma. And she would say, oh, there's nothing wrong with you, Janie, that a good baked potato couldn't fix. Thank you, Grandma. And I still remember our interview at our local country club. My brother-in-law took me aside beforehand. He said, look, this means a lot to your husband and the boys, so keep your mouth shut. So I'm going in the interview thinking, I can do this, I can do it, zip it, lip it. But this lady was right in my face, and she's there. So Jane, where did you summer as a child? So I told her, I said, well, we summered where we wintered. We summered on the screen porch, we wintered in the den, yeah, woo! Oh dear. So in Greenwich, there is an actual sign on the door of the hospital thrift shop. It says not accepting any donations of golf clubs until the spring. And then, what is going on here? Do people with money just give away their clubs? Do you see how it's a constant struggle for me there? Trying to fit in, but not forget where I came from, because God knows I love a good thrift shop. I buy stuff there. Now the only problem was I had a dinner party, because you have to. And this Greenwich lady said, Jane dear, I do believe that you're serving me food on plates that I donated to the thrift shop. Thinking, well, I hope she doesn't look at my shoes. You know, I've tried and tried to stay on the straight and narrow there. I wake up in the morning and I say, you can do it, Janie Condon. Sit up straight, say your R's. It's not father, it's father. It's not mother, it's mother. It's not car, it's carer. And I try to behave, to be polite and proper. I even wrote a book about Japanese women who are the epitome of polite and proper. But one day, when I was, and you, oh, well, I do like you best, yes. One day when I was lecturing on my book, I made people laugh. And I loved the laughter and I wanted more. And I just said like, oh, how do I get to do this again? And so one day, when my husband was out of town, and I was unsupervised, I decided to try stand-up. And my first show was our son's nursery school fundraiser. And I hopped up on a Fisher-Price picnic table. I started telling jokes. I didn't really have any jokes. So I borrowed an old kid's joke. Why did the turkey want to join the band? Because he had a drumstick, ba-dum-bum. And this Swedish dad afterwards said, I thought you were just drunken housewife. And I said, whatever. Okay, so on to the next. Then I did an Episcopal church. Very patrician man came up at the end and he said, you are so funny, my dear. I almost laughed out loud. You know the Episcopalians, okay. Oh my God, and I just said, thank you. And I took it as a compliment. Well, then my next show was an assisted living center. You know, my peeps, like you. Anyway, and this place It had a bar, it had a bistro, bingo. You guys have more. I've never been, this is like the best assisted living place I've ever done, but I was very impressed by them. What really impressed me was, it was a 90-year-old woman there who hadn't given up. And she had on the leopard print boots and the pink golf visor and big fat sunglasses. And I said to her, are you a movie star? And she said, why, yes. I'm starring in a movie called Glaucoma. And her little friend said, oh, Jane would really love to have you back next year. And I said, well, I think you want me back in 2 years so they won't remember my act. She said, oh, trust me, they won't remember your act. I think some gentleman over there knew what I was going to say. Anyway, so a lot of people ask me why I do comedy. Why? Because I'm desperate. I am the youngest in my family. I needed attention, and I still do. So thank you all for coming tonight. My siblings, thank you. Give yourselves a round of applause. My siblings' whole photo albums about each of them. Me, one photo, 2nd grade, Plymouth Rock. And only because my aunt and uncle were taking a picture of my cousin and I jumped into the photo. I had on a red plaid shirt and red madras pants. Totally didn't match. I got a cowlick, I got the no socks because I was unsupervised. Okay, so that was fine. But my 2 sisters, they didn't like me. So they gave me a t-shirt that said, organ donor on it. Yeah. And they were always trying to ditch me. And they're running into the woods, and I'm running after them saying, you're not getting away from me, and bam, I got hit in the head. Now what, did they just chuck something at me? No, it was a beehive. I got stung all over. Yes, it was very painful, it was really awful. But my 2 sisters, they got in a lot of trouble. Oh, worth it. And another reason why I do comedy, besides the alcoholism and mental illness in my family, is I'm a talker. Do we have any other talkers there?
Oh, yeah.
That's my girl, and Margaret maybe, and over there, Yeah, I say, be loud, be proud, you know. Do you know when people are listening to us, we people who talk too much, did you notice they kind of tune out sometimes? And I think what they hear us saying is blah, 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 moo, moo, okay? So I want to embrace the moo, moo. I think everybody should speak moo, moo. Do you want to try to do moo, moo with me? I'll go first, you'll get it, it's very simple, okay? So, moo, 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 moo. Oh, I got 2 moo, moos, okay. Is that you, Joyce?
No.
No.
Sorry.
Back there?
I thought I was allowed to do that.
Oh, yeah, I know, you told me the rules in the beginning, I can do whatever I want now, right? You have to tell me your first name again, I forgot.
Marilyn.
Marilyn, okay, we're gonna hear a lot from Marilyn, folks, just buckle up, okay. Buckle up, buttercups, okay. So, but now, oh, I forgot to say to you, I may lose my way, you know, I'm still ADD and now the memory's going, so, like if I do, just tell me what I was talking about. Like I honestly have no idea where I am now. Just if anybody remembers, let me see, I was talking about my sisters. Oh, Mumu, thank you. Oh my God, Mumu. Yeah, you totally would. Okay, anyway, yeah, Mumu was a thing. Okay, so as a kid, I had to tell you there was nothing I liked better than having my family captive in the car, because then I can talk and they can't escape. Kind of like you people. Okay. So, anyway, they, oh my God, they would actually offer to pay me to be quiet. They'd say, Janie, we're going down Cape Cod, we'll give you 50 cents one way to say absolutely nothing. Whole $1 round trip, and I never got the $1 because I couldn't stop talking. And I'd be in the back seat behind my father going, hey Dad, when are we going to get there? When are we going to get home? Do we have enough gas to get there? Enough gas to get home? We're going to go to Chatham. We've never been to Chatham. Dad, we go to Hyannis. We go to Falmouth. Everybody loves Falmouth. To my dad gripping the steering wheel and saying, Janie, you could talk a very hungry dog off a meat wagon. Yeah, so the next day, they dropped me off at my Irish grandmother's house, you know, because they're trying to get rid of me. And it's okay, don't worry about me, I had a dog, I had love. Anyway, so yeah, they're trying to get rid of me, and I'm then, Grandma, what do you want to do now? What do you want to do next Do you wanna go outside? Do you wanna play? Do you wanna go to the drugstore? I know you like the drugstore. I like the drugstore. Maybe you can buy me some gum. And then, we can stay here and you make me cocoa or a pie. I love your apple pie, Grandma. And my Irish grandma would say, oh, Jesus, Mary and Joseph, for the love of God, Janie, sit down and shut up. And now I stand up and I talk, and people pay me to do it. Thank you. I tour with a group called Ladies of Laughter. We were doing a bunch of theaters in Iowa and Missouri with a Minnesota comic. She was very good. And we're like turning into the airport, she's driving, and I said, boy, I hope I get to work with you again. I've enjoyed our long walks, long talks, even longer drives. And she too is gripping the steering wheel and says, Jane, I mean this from the bottom of my heart, but shut the hell up. Oh dear. So, let me see, I have been married a long time. So I want to say this right up front, very pro same-sex marriage. You know, my husband and I have had the same sex for 47 years. Why wouldn't I be? Okay. So, anybody here married longer than 47 years? Anybody here? Oh, how many years, Margaret? 53. Wow. Anybody being 53? It doesn't all have to be the same person. Okay, and sir?
59.
59, wow. Anybody else? Back there, sir?
69.
69. Oh, I can't believe it. Can anybody be 69? You? I heard a me. I can't see very well, but is you?
65 years.
65. No, even with the new math, 69 still wins. Okay. Okay, so 69. Can you tell us your name, sir, and how did you do it? You give the people advice.
No.
No? Okay, well, you're old enough, you can say no. Make me laugh, lady. I'm not giving you any information. Okay. Can you just tell me your name?
Paul Wickersham.
Paul Wickersham. Okay. It's like one word, Paul Wickersham. Okay. Anyway, have you had a good life, Paul?
Yes.
You're very attractive. So, I mean, just saying that for anybody who can't see him from there. Okay. Anyway, are you available? You taking the fifth, Paul?
No.
No. Is your wife here? Oh, your wife. How are you doing? Have you also been married 69 years? Same guy? You want to give us, what's the rebuttal? What, how did you do it? Seriously, how did you do it? I'm always looking for tips. No. Okay, this is the couple who doesn't want to participate, but thank you. Give it up for Paul and his wife. Thank you. You guys are an inspiration. Let me see. Oh, I come from an average American family. I told you that all because of mental illness, and everybody has something, right? So when I first started dating my husband, I noticed that he didn't drink that much, and he wasn't mentally ill. So I'm thinking, he could be the one. So I asked him to marry me. Anybody else have acid reflux? Used to us. Okay. I don't want to make a mess if it spills. Okay. So I asked him to marry me, and he seemed very pleased by this, and we're hugging and kissing, and after a few minutes he pulled away. And he said, Jane, this is a really big decision. I need time to think about this. And I said, yes, of course. Take all the time you need. So the next day, I say, have you had a chance to think about it? He said, Jane, I need more time. I'm like, fine, I understand. So I waited. I waited for a whole week, a whole long, torturous week. We were living in New York, and I'm at my apartment. It was a Friday afternoon. I'm thinking, this is it tonight. It's Fisher cut bait. And I just want to say, you know, I'm going to go over to his apartment for dinner. And I just want to say to anybody who's still thinking of getting married or know someone who is, just, you know, forget the guys who can dance. Marry a guy who can cook. Okay, so I go over and I said, how's it going? And he said, well, I think it needs more salt. And I mean, the big decision. I said, oh, Jane, I made a list of pros and cons. It's on the legal page. Pros and cons for me, Hebrew, for God's gracious gift. Okay, well, anyway. I know, well, he said, it said it's on the legal pad over there. And I'm like, well, what are some of the pros? He said, well, I think you'd make a great mother. A great mother? Does he say I'm smart? Does he say I'm funny, good looking? Look, I know who I am. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm a 6. But I'm a solid 6. And with a little makeup, I'm a 7.2. Okay? And if he's been drinking, I'm a 9. But he doesn't drink that much, so okay. So honey, what are some of the cons? He said, oh Jane, forget about the cons, let's get married. And I'm there, oh, thank you. Oh, you just made all of my dreams come true. And just, but you know, I am a little old fashioned. Would you mind terribly getting down on one knee and asking me? And he said, oh sure. And I love a man who can take direction. So he said, will you marry me? And I'm like, oh my God, honey, that was such an excellent first take. But I'd always picture the proposal being something a little bit more like this, you know. Will you, Jane Frances Condon, make me, Kenneth Gilbert Bartels, the happiest man on the face of the earth? Will you marry me? Oh, I have to tell you, I had tears coming down my cheeks, you know, even though I wrote it. And I took his hands in my hands and I said, I'll think about it. I didn't have to think long. The only nagging thought I had in my head was he'd never met any members of my family. And I think, okay, well, I'm not going to start him in Brockton. I don't want him to get stabbed, you know, and that would be like one forced trauma. Okay, so I'll take him to Cohasset. My sister and brother-in-law live down in Cohasset. It's a lovely town on the coast of Massachusetts, South Shore of Massachusetts. So we, oh yes, please take my picture. Thank you. Anybody wants to take my picture or record me? If you're a correspondent for AARP, I'm totally open to it. Okay, so anyway. Now what was I talking about? Okay, this is the only problem with being ADD here. Okay. Cohasset, bless you, bless you. You are the teleprompter of the year. Okay, anyway, so I'm in Cohasset, and we drive up there. It's a very long ride from New York, and he had on his best business suit. You know, he wanted to make a good first impression. And we go in, the door's open, we go in, and nobody's home. He says, Jane, this is odd, but they didn't leave a note. And then, no, honey, in my family, we don't leave notes. You're either here or you're not. Okay, so we go to bed. About 2 a.m., a car screeches into the driveway. The pebbles are flying, dog is barking. And my brother-in-law, Jerry, burst into the bedroom and belly flopped on the bed. Welcome to my family, honey. Okay, mercifully, Ken had scooted out of bed. And my brother-in-law is jumping up and down going, Kenny, I love you. Jenny told us all about you, and you're gonna she's like a daughter to me, Ken. You take good care of her, right? Well, then he hops off the bed, he gets Ken in a headlock and says, take good care of her or I'll kill you. And then my sister is trying to separate them, escorting Jerry out of the room. And Jerry looks back over his shoulder and says, I'll kill you. Or I know a guy who knows a guy, Ken. And then he spins out from my sister. He comes back to me. He said, Janie, I love this guy. I'm just playing with him. Oh, God, yeah, okay. So then he leaves the room. And Ken is horrified because he comes from a normal family. And I'm thinking, oh my God, you know, how do I explain my family to this well-educated, well-bred man, and, you know, like Paul, and Wickersham, whatever his name is. Anyway, how do I explain them? See, we fight on a Saturday night, but on Sunday it's waffles in church and sunshine, oh my. So rather miraculously, he still married me, although, you know, maybe he was afraid not to. Yeah. My husband is very cute. I married up in looks, and he may be the only guy in Greenwich who doesn't monogram. Of course, that could be because his initials are KGB. And sometimes he gets things out of proportion. Do you know people like this? He'll be there, Jane, what? You left the light on in the kitchen. Which to me sounds like, Jane, there's a body in the kitchen. There's a new survey out. It says the average married couple talks for 4 minutes a day, and I'm thinking, whoa, is it really that long? You gotta wonder why people get married. I think a man looks at a woman and thinks, she loves me. Okay, she adores me, and she's just like my mom. Whereas a woman looks at a man and thinks, all right, I can work with this. You ever ask your spouse a no-win question? Or boyfriend or girlfriend. My poor husband is there. He's sitting in his favorite chair in the kitchen. He's reading his newspaper, minding his own business. And I say, honey, are you attracted to other women? You know, this is a no-win question. It's like saying, am I getting fat? If he says yes, he's in trouble. And if he says no, you know he's lying. Nevertheless, I say, are you attracted to other women? And he looks me straight in the eye and he says, oh no, dear, I am blinded by your beauty. That is the correct answer. Yeah. He and I are total opposites. He's rational, I'm impulsive, he's very, very neat, I'm very, very not. He likes to travel, and I like when he travels. He drives a stick. I drive an automatic. I get my car from a dealership. He gets his car from Fred Flintstone. I'm ADD, he's OCD, you know, but I live in a clean house, right? So it all works out, yeah. We have 2 boys. Anybody have kids? Yes. Okay. So we have 2 boys, otherwise everything's fine. My first son was born in Tokyo, Japan. I was there. And my second son was made in Japan, but born in Greenwich. We like to stress he's still a quality product. So we lived in Japan for 5 years, very lucky to live abroad. And they say you forget all about childbirth. No, I remember every single detail. I'm having contractions. We go down to the street to get a taxi. I look like a beached whale. I gained 44 pounds because I was unsupervised. I didn't know how much I gained. And I'm trying to get into the taxi, and I'm pointing to my belly saying, Nin Jin, Nin Jin. Well, Nin Shin means I'm pregnant. Nin Jin means I'm a carrot. I'm a carrot. That guy drove so fast across town. They hustled me up to the maternity ward. All these Japanese women are doing natural childbirth. They don't even call it Lamaze. They just do it. No drugs. I did it. What a crock. So, listen, to all of those of you who are still fertile, okay, wrong show, and no, but tell the younger ones this. I say, take the drugs. Take all the drugs. Save a few for when they're teenagers. That's when you really need them. So these Japanese women are in labor, and the most I hear coming out of them are these little peeps, little. Oh my God, I make more noise than that when I put on my pantyhose. I'm screaming at the top of my lungs, and this Japanese nurse, she's gonna shut me down. She's there, she's gonna be quiet. You are disturbing the harmony of the floor. Millie, I don't care about the harmony of the floor. I'm having a baby, and I need epi-dural. Do you have necesito epidural? Nobody speaks Spanish. All right, so miraculously, this other nurse was there, Yamashita San. I still remember her to this day. I still thank her every day. She broke my waters. 20 minutes later, out popped this incredible baby boy. I'm looking at him, and he's bowing at me. So, when my kids were little, I sent them to summer camp. I never went to camp. When I was a kid, my parents said, here's a bike, good luck, see you in September. All right, that was summer camp. Oh dear. But I loved to play tennis. Our local playground had one tennis court. And every year the city of Brockton would put up a new net. And every year Vinnie Delahanty, who ended up in juvie, would steal the net and make himself a new hammock. Okay. So when my son said he wanted to learn how to play tennis, I thought, you're going to a proper tennis camp, and there's going to be a new net, and it's going to be fresh tennis balls, it's going to be no Vinnie. Okay. So I dropped him off one day, and it was a very hot day. And he said, well, Mom, I don't really want to play tennis today, it's too hot. And I'm thinking, you're going to this camp, because I'm paying an arm and a leg, you're going to the camp. And then what really pleased me was this camp counselor said, you get up on that court. And I'm thinking, I love this guy, because I want to make my kids Brockton tough. Not so tough they end up at Walpole State Prison, but strong enough so they can stand up to a bully. So I come back later on in the afternoon, different camp counselor, and I say to her, she asked me, she says, who are you? I said, I'm here to pick up my son. She said, I said, I'm the mom. And she said, that boy? And I said, yeah, that's my son. She said, he told us that his mother had died yesterday. In a car crash. And I am laughing to myself, and I'm thinking, this kid is gonna make a great politician. So we have a lot of stuff in our attic, mostly because of me. And I've said to my little one, I said, you know, Mommy is not a hoarder. I may be a junior hoarder, I'm not a hoarder. He said, Mom, you are so not a junior hoarder. You're an early onset hoarder. So they staged an intervention and they got me a dumpster, and as it turned out, I love the dumpster. Has anybody ever had a dumpster? Oh my God, it's a thing of beauty, right? Because you can lighten your load. I'm throwing out the baseball uniforms, the art projects, permission slips, lunch menus, Valentine's, participation trophies. It's all going, and then it hit me like a ton of bricks when I came to this child-size stuffed doll, Joe Montana, quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers. I said, I'm not giving up Joe. And my boys are there, Mom, you gotta let it go. And I'm there, you can't make me. And Mom, it's time. And they're, all right, but let me do it. So I cradled Joe in my arms, like the third son that he is. And I gently put him down in the dumpster. And the tow truck comes, it's lifting up the dumpster, all the noise are going up the driveway, and I'm walking away and I'm so bummed out. And I looked over my shoulder, and there was my Joe on top of all the trash going. And that's when I knew that Joe and we were gonna be okay, yeah. Now what's wonderful about sorting things out is sometimes you find little treasures. And we found this story that my little one had written in second grade. I went to the toy store with my mom. I wanted a basketball. She said no. The end. Oh dear. I just want you to know I'm not a bad mom. I've always leveled with my kids. I said, look, without me, you'd have nothing to talk about in therapy. Okay. Lisa, I just gave this kid a great hardship story for his college essay. Greenwich mom says no. Yeah, who ever heard of that? All right. And the same kid, he was a Cub Scout. And the Cub Scout leader quit. And I'm thinking, I am uniquely unqualified to be a Cub Scout leader. I can't do this. I don't know how to make a campfire, a bake sale, whatever they do, knots. I don't look good in a scarf. But then none of the other parents wanted to do it, so I said, okay, I'll do it. And then I tried to talk myself into it. You can do it, Jenny Condon. Kids love you. You're a great babysitter. You do great animal impressions. So the very first meeting, I sit them down. I'm thinking, you know, as a little icebreaker, I'll do my animal impressions. And I said, okay, I will do the animal impression, and you tell me the name of the animal. And they're okay. And so I'm there, and they all got the dog. All right, so and they got the cat. A little more trouble with this. It's a fish. It's actually a blowfish, a fruit because we used to live in Japan, but what do they know? Anyway, so then I did this, the next one. And they all said bunny or rabbit, except one kid who said kangaroo. Why did you say kangaroo? And he said, because it has a pouch like you. Why do I sign up for these things? Okay. So then I did this one. Whack, 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 whack. They got the duck. And they didn't get this one. Okay, so I had to do it in slow motion. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Okay, then they got that. And then I did this. It's a horse. And then I did this one. They got the monkey. And then I do like this one. My last one. Elephant. Okay, so forget the kids for a moment. Did you like my impressions? Thank you. You all did in this room, okay? Because these kids, these Greenwich kids, unimpressed. Totally unimpressed. And they, oh my gosh, I gotta do something really big. I do something dramatic to, you know, to get them. And that's when I came up with the idea of a field trip. Take them on a field trip to the local police station. Because I want them to respect the law. My dad was an FBI agent. I would go into work with him occasionally. I would memorize the 10 most wanted, and I'd go back out to Brockton and spot 6 or 7 of them. Anyway, so we get to the police station, and we're at the front door, and we're greeted by our guide. I'm Detective Frank. And they're, oh, so nice to meet you. These are my little guys. And he takes us in, puts them in a semicircle, whips his badge off of his belt, and he's shoving it in the little kids' faces. And they're like, what to say? Hey, fella, come on, let's take it easy. Well, then he whips out his gun. He's there, everybody upstairs. And you know, I should have said something, but he had a gun. so we get upstairs. He puts up, these are all the kids in the jail cell. Oh my God. So he put them all in the jail cell, but then it got worse. He slammed the door shut with his hip. He's patting his pocket saying, I can't find the keys. And now, what am I going to tell the parents? And the kids are I'm horrified. The kids are horrified. One little guy said, can you help us, Mrs. Condon? And a kid behind him, totally oblivious. He said, but I have a piano lesson. Not anymore, you don't, honey. Anyway, so, oh my God, long minutes went by. And he found the keys, thank God. He unlocked the door. The kids tumbled out. I raced up to my son and said, I am so sorry. That guy was so scary. And my son, who had been incarcerated for all of like 10 minutes, said, don't worry about me, Mom. I already had a plan for making a shiv out of the toilet paper holder. I was so proud of him. I'm not sure I knew what a shiv was, but anyway. Anyway, and I just thought, wow, you know, maybe my kid is a little Brockton tough, and maybe I am a good Cub Scout leader. Yeah. Now we all know leadership is important, and the Catholic Church got a new Pope last year. I was very excited by this Pope. You can call him Pope Leo, Pope Bob, whatever you call him. Anyway, and I just never, ever thought I would hear a Pope say these words. I love the Chicago White Sox. You know, only an American could love a loser baseball team. So you may have guessed I'm Catholic, I'm Irish Catholic, and I learned over the years that some people are scared of Catholics. I'm scared of Baptists. It's just, they have full body immersion baptism, at least the Catholic, we just do a little trickle on you for you. We're not trying to drown anybody, you know? And then they have public confession. And I just kind of like doing my sins in private, you know, little room, just, yeah, I did this wrong, I did a mortal venal sin, okay. Say 3 Our Fathers, 10 Hail Marys, okay, whatever. So, oh dear. But then I learned that the Baptists have the most incredible Christmas pageants, and I love Christmas pageants. And how I love Baptists, because growing up, okay, it was a goal. Okay, I wanted to be the Virgin Mary, you know, because she was the co-star. Okay, and you know, I had one of the lines like already. How can this be? For I know not man. Okay, yeah, I could have done this, you know, but no, nobody wanted it. Okay, but I was selling, they weren't buying. All right, so, but the best I could do was, let's see, I was 5, and I was angel number 3. Okay, so I wanted better for my boys. So we joined a church, but it had no Christmas pageant. So then we joined another church. This Christmas pageant, an extravaganza, and the competition for parts, cutthroat. You know, because everybody wanted their kid to be the baby Jesus, right? And you know why? It looks good on the resume. Early years, Jesus. Right this way, welcome to Goldman Sachs, yeah. So, when we joined the church, the boys were 5 and 3, so they'd already, you know, missed the window of being the savior. And they made them shepherds. Silent shepherds, my kids. Silent shepherds. I know, what a waste of talent. Okay, and then they put them in burlap bags. Nobody looks good in a burlap bag. Okay, then they give them a ringy-dingy cowbell, and they're ringing and dinging the heck out of it, and they're bashing each other on the head, and they're getting all the other kids excited. So they made my husband the head shepherd, because he could wrangle our boys, and he could wrangle the other kids. Meanwhile, I met this wonderful, wonderful woman, and she was just very frustrated with the whole thing. And she said, Jane, we've been told that it's an equal opportunity pageant, and the baby Jesus can be a boy or a girl. She said, I've had 3 baby girls. None of them have been named the baby Jesus. Each one of them has been named the understudy, the backup baby Jesus. And then she sidles up to me, and she knew I was a comedian, and she said, Jane, who you gotta sleep with to be the baby Jesus? Okay. But God is good, you know. One year, the flu swept through our congregation, and my boys became 2 of the 3 wise men. They were the ones with frankincense and myrrh. I was hoping for gold, but whatever, okay. But we had a truly great innkeeper. I love this kid. Every year, he would be there. He had one line. He made it into 2. There is no room at the inn, but would you like to come in for a drink? Put a little Connecticut spin on it, you know? I love that guy. All right, so the kids are getting older. When they were teenagers, well, we survived. Has anybody else survived? Teenagers?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, you know, they're crazy people.
True.
Thank you. Verification. Okay. Anyway, they're just. Okay, so let me give you a quick question. Who's worse? Be honest. Teenage girls or teenage boys? Girls. 95% of the time, people say girls. I think I know why, because I was a teenage girl, and we're complicated. And when we have a problem, you have a problem. Oh, the poor moms are there, honey. Who do we hate this week? And who does mommy have to kill to end all of this? Yeah. Oh dear. Oh, these poor kids. Yeah. If I had had teenage girls, I would have been so scared that they're going to be kidnapped or they're going to be sexting. I would rather they be kidnapped. Okay. But anyway, sexting back in my day was this. You drop your drawers, you pick up your fanny, and you put it on the Xerox machine. You press a button. One copy comes out, right? No comments, no sharing, no World Wide Web. One copy. You show your friends. You have a few laughs. Show's over. Move along. Okay. So here's my impression of a teenage girl. Did you see my Instagram? Did you like it? Did you comment? Did you share? And then she whips out her chapstick. I'm the most popular, but in her head she's thinking, why doesn't Jimmy like me? And I want to tell her it's because you're complicated. Here's my impression of a teenage boy. Can I go now? You know what, the boys can be a handful too. One time I'm out on a sailboat with my son, I asked for his help and he backtalks me. And I asked for his help again, he backtalks me again, and I tossed him off the boat. I said, you can swim home.